talking 6 quadrillion. Well, that of course makes it even worse. You can see the value of the.
But no, you're right. I mean, you're right. They say with just derivatives alone, certain types we're at 1,000.
Well, this obviously is a black hole that can consume the Earth, because the total value of the planet Earth and everything in it at current rates is about 100 trillion at the very most. So 6,000 trillion, you can see you're just out of the ballpark. There is no way to use austerity to prop up these bankrupt structures of.
No, they're just preparing us to be slaves.
But they're going to try, and it will fail. So you'll have basically the decline of civilization unless somebody stops it. Now, in the middle of all that, though, I would say, remember, defeat the number one option of Wall Street. It's clearly Obama. Obama is the facelift for imperialism. He's the credibility for false flag. He's the ability to carry out austerity and strike breaking on the home front. If you defeat Obama, you will have defeated the entire banking establishment and the controlled corporate media. That would then lead to an open field period. Again, if it were McCain, it would be a period of intense fighting and gridlock in the Congress, between the Congress and the president, which would be ideal for radicalizing things, in my view, in a New Deal direction, so that you'd get powerful measures for economic recovery that cannot be this free market stuff, but have to be powerful state interventions to get things going again. In other words, what worked in the 1930s and what would work again is distinct from, well, Bush is a reincarnation of Herbert Hoover.
I disagree with you on Webster. I agree with everything you've said about the world, geopolitical landscape, what's happening, who's behind what. And just like Ron Paul disagrees with you, I disagree with your solution of more government. And now I understand, the magical plan of angels in government that would direct the largesse towards the people and redistribute it. It isn't going to work. The New World Order crowd controlled the left and the right. They controlled the attempted fascist coup with Bush's grandfather behind it. And they controlled FDR. And so that's where we really differ, Webster. I
think it's a mistake to say they controlled FDR. They tried to kill him even before he got into office with that attempted assassination in Miami, and then they tried to organize the Morgan coup to overthrow him. So that was
as the McCormick-Dickstein Committee showed. Right. Let's go ahead and talk to Peggy in Pennsylvania. Peggy, you're on the air.
Alex, sometimes lately I'm beginning to think that this show is just another disinformation show, and I'll tell you why. It's much ado about nothing. Ron Paul came along, and he seemed to be the perfect candidate for the typical American, intelligent as well as just a normal type of guy. But all of a sudden he steps down with and it was a surprise to all of us. Mr. Tarpley...
And hold on, ma'am. You made quite a claim here. Ron Paul lost. And we all asked him to run, so we can't be mad at him for not, quote, winning. But he did win tens of millions of hearts and minds, and people did find out about the New World Order, the North American Union, and the Trans-Texas Corridor that's in trouble now. And, I mean, that's just an amazing... We have all different types of guests and ideas here, and this is a place for you to think, a place for you to find information and check what we say. I mean, I'm doing the best I can. I'm working 18 hours a day here.
Alex, he lost because of the corruption in the governments. I'm not going to mention any particular...
So how are we bad right now? I want to hear it from you.
All right, I'll tell you. I saw the takeover of Ohio from my own perspective, and I know who did it. I won't mention any names or anything like that. But there is a force behind this that is not being mentioned. And Mr. Tarpley, for instance, claims that he wants Hillary as a substitute because she's easier...
Well, wait a minute, ma'am. Let me ask you a question, Peggy.
Yeah.
Did we screen your phone call?
Yeah. He knew it was me, if that's what you're asking.
Pardon me?
The guy that answered me knows my voice, and he knew it was me.
Let's bring John in here right now. Ma'am, we don't screen phone calls unless people...
Alex, please don't do this.
Are you a schizophrenic? Let me guess. I bet you think the world revolves around you, and we all know who you are. Ma'am, I don't know you from Adam.
Alex, shame on you. Shame on your lies.
Are you a schizophrenic?
I never thought that you would do
You
this.
are a schizophrenic, aren't you, you nutcase?
How dare you, Alex?
All right, let her go. Bring John Harmon in here. I'm tired of these schizophrenics on the Internet. I am really sick of them. And their craziness and the fact that people will believe them. They call in here. One yesterday called and said the Earth orbits around her, and she, basically they're the Queen of England, and that's the end of it. And they call in here, and then we don't screen your calls, and they lie and say we do. John Harmon, come in here.
Yeah, the question was, do we screen calls? And she answered yes. I did recognize her voice because she calls in every day. but that doesn't mean we screen calls.
We put her on air. I don't know who she is. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. We put her on air, asked for her name and where she's calling from, and that's it. And she volunteered. She said she disagreed with you and Tarpley. So she went to the head of the line, and that was it.
Okay, well, that's a rarity because I don't recognize her as a routine call that you did know who she was. Man, we put you on air for her to then accuse us of being bad, and it's just a diversion. The dollar's imploding, everything's falling apart, and a bunch of people out there can't stay focused on real issues. Yeah, Webster, go
Alex,
ahead.
we have schizophrenia, of course, but then we have the most dangerous form of schizophrenia is megalomania. Right, the Emperor Nero, Napoleon, people like this.
And that's what Obama has.
That's Obama, absolutely.
Yeah, my whole issue is that this is a show, a platform for you, the listeners, and our guest. And I take a call, and it's we know who she is. I don't know who you are, ma'am. And that you're saying that we won't say who really runs things, but then you won't. You could have said whatever you wanted here, but you chose to do that, and that's part of the meltdown of our society. Let's talk to Lynn in Toronto. Lynn, you're on the air. Go ahead. Go ahead, Lynn.
Hi, I'm not an ex-queen at all. I'm just Lynn.
Lynn, did we screen your phone call?
Nope. You just said, thank you, please hold. I'll put you through.
Yeah, I'm tired of being accused of this. Go ahead.
At no point have you screened my numbers, and that woman, she seems to me she could not be specific about anything, and I find the people I'm fighting with up here, same thing. They hit you with a bunch of things, and I think just trying to make
what's happening is some of the zombies
Yep.
are being woken up, and I'm not trying to be mean to this lady, but I mean others. And they know the government's bad now, but then they can't tell what else is going on. Tarpley, you ever run into that?
Well, you have these Obama trolls, right? That's what I find.
You think that might be that she doesn't like?
Yeah, sure. As soon as you're rapping Obama, a bunch of trolls come out of the woodwork.
Oh, he didn't win in Ohio, did he?
I'd love to know who took over Ohio. I would have liked her to name the names, but it may be another time.
Yeah, but what we're censoring here.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Lynn, anything else?
Yeah, I was just going to say, you're always talking about the police and the fact they're not educated properly and dangers here and dangers there. And no one ever talks about a group of people, like up here in Canada, we've got them. It's a private corporation, and they now have police powers, and they're very, very anti-public, like very, very anti the people. And totally unaccountable.
Yeah, they're setting up these citizens squads. They have them in England now.
Oh, well, this comes in the form of what they call a humane societies. And the Toronto group operated illegally for many years, and the government here in Ontario totally sucks up to them. Totally, and I'm sitting back and saying, why? They don't give a damn about animals. Why are they supporting groups who couldn't care less? They've devastated people here.
Well, they'll use something that sounds reasonable like animals to get you in the process of tattling and spying, then they move it over into regular spying. Do you agree, Webster?
Again, I think that the big danger right now is this idea of grassroots movements around extreme ecology, animal rights, anything like this. This can become the breeding ground for the next generation of false flags.
Folks, the book is Obama, the Postmodern Coup. Webster Griffin Tarpley. Webster, you're doing a great job. Let me have you up again in the next few weeks for another interview so we can finish up, okay?
I'd be delighted, Alex. Thank you very much.
All right, we're going to call you today and set you back up. Thank you, Webster. All right, we'll be back. I've got a key Willie Nelson announcement and then Mark Hornkey.